Welcome back to the Life of Words. We usually think of space as a real place, a city, a street, a building. But a place can be invisible as well as visible. In fact, there is a place which is around us all the time, that travels with us, that is us and a part from us. And that place is like a habitat. And that habitat is language. We live in a world made of words. A bird inhabits a woodland. A salmon inhabits a river. And yet, those places are like a language in themselves. A human being inhabits language. And perhaps that's why Shakespeare gives us one of the most remarkable descriptions of the imagination and language at play. He says in A Midsummer Night's Dream that imagination gives to airy nothing a local habitation and a name. Shakespeare understood something profound. Imagination is not an escape from reality. It is a way of creating reality. A reality, a place, created through words. Sometimes we often think of words as the labels of things, describing machines, but they're not as complete as that. They are ragged often in their meaning, supremely connected with their meanings that have gone before, their past lives, if you like, the lives of their origins. But something is very strange about the life of words. Words do not merely point at the world. They help us create the world that we see. They actually, like a habitat, are shaped by us, and they shape us. A writer, for example, can give a habitation to things that remain otherwise invisible. A poem can give home to memory. A story can give a home to possibility. And a word can give a home to an idea. And once something has a habitation in language, it can travel. It can move from one mind to another. It can survive beyond the lifetime of the person who first spoke. There's something here that reminds me of ecology. Living things do not merely live within their environments, they actually shape them by being there. For example, coral reefs made up of tiny polyps create and recreate themselves and create an environment which is a home to thousands of other species. Beavers do not simply happily live beside rivers or within them. They create dams that utterly shape and reshape that environment, altering it entirely, creating wetlands for other species and for changing that environment utterly. Life does not simply fit into the world. It changes the world it inhabits. We inherit a linguistic world created and shaped by generations before us. Conversation, every story, every poem changes that world a little. We change that world when we speak, but we are also changing the habitat of language, the habitat in which we have developed. Words are not fixed in time. Words are not fossils, if you like. Words are more like a species in constant dynamic development, which is not a museum of dead objects. It is a living organism. And when we speak through that organism, we are therefore never speaking alone. We are never alone in the life. Language, therefore, does not adapt to human experience. It actually creates human experience. Our stories, our plays, our poems, our screenplays, they build and develop worlds of words. And they, in turn, those worlds alter us and alter our habitat of thinking. They also alter our habitat of feeling, our conversation across time and space and between ourselves. There's no better place to use than this, the centre of London. Now, London is a physical city. It's made of metal and stone and glass. But it's also a city made of history and story and words. The street has a name. Every building carries a story. The River Thames is flowing with its own story, its own language, going back in time to the beginning of humans inhabiting London and Londinium. So language in place is also a language of, if you like, time traveling too. Somerset House, where I'm standing now, is a historical building. This is where Lord Nelson walked. This is where huge decisions about government have been taken for hundreds of years. 200 years ago, the poet William Wordsworth stood on Westminster Bridge, not far from here. He looked out at the Thames. He looked out across the city. He was standing beside his sister Dorothy. That moment he was writing about lasted only a few moments. The city he saw has changed. That morning, that moment lasted just a few seconds. But he gave that moment a form in the habitation of language. And because he created that habitation, we can still enter it. We can still go into that place. The poem that Wordsworth wrote is a sonnet, and it's set upon Westminster Bridge, and it's dated September the 3rd, 1802. Earth has not anything to show more fair. Dull would he be of soul who could pass by a sight so touching in its majesty. This city now doth like a garment wear the beauty of the morning, silent, bare. Ships, towers, domes, theatres, and temples lie open unto the fields and to the sky, all bright and glittering in the smokeless air. Never did sun more beautifully steep valley, rock, or hill. Never saw I, never felt a calm so deep. The river glideth at his own sweet will. Dear God, the very houses seem asleep, and all that mighty heart is lying still. Homes are not made of stone, but from words. We spend our lives building houses and cities and nations, but beneath them all is this other home, the invisible architecture of language. We do not simply use words, we live in them. Now, as with every episode of The Life of Words, I want you also to join in with this life. Think about a place that's important to you. It could be anything, a street, a building, your own home, your childhood home, your city. Think about that place and write down quickly 10 words that are prompted by that place. Words might include sounds, sights, even names. And use those 10 words to prompt and create a short story. Use those words within the story as the prompt. Let the noise and the life and the language go into the story and create a new life, a habitation, a new home for those words. And as you're rewriting that story, think of it as a home, a place in which the language can live, and which the reader can enter. Thank you for watching The Life of Words, revealing the inner life of language through stories, through poems, and through writing across the world. If you'd like to see more of these episodes, please help by liking this channel and subscribing to the future episodes. Thank you so much. I'll be delighted to see you again as we continue the exploration of this world through words.